find your way back home.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Eat Sleep Profit YouTube channel. Now, today, what I wanted to talk about is going to be pre-market movement and scanning for stocks in the pre-market, how to find those pre-market stocks, as well, kind of the differences between going from the pre-market into the intraday and kind of the things you have to change on the scanner. Now, I have I think I have two different videos on YouTube about scanning stocks, especially mostly in the intraday, so how to find plays and look for momentum, etc. But it kind of gets a little bit more in depth whenever I talk about pre-market activity, because you get to kind of learn the differences of how to scan between pre-market and intraday, as well. A lot of stocks that move in the pre-market usually have that news behind it. So in turn, usually they become very, very good plays in the intraday if they continue to follow through and continue to run. So setting up a pre-market scan, for example, you can see on Thinkorswim, traditionally, a lot of people that use pre-market activity to scan for stocks, usually they're scanning with like third-party scanners like Trade Ideas, other ones paid for scanners out there, Equifeed and things like that. I've seen they're very, very good at scanning, but a lot of times when people first enter into getting into the day trading side, they don't want to spend a lot of money on like subscription services and scanners and things like that. You can see trading gets very, very expensive if you haven't made a profit yet, and in turn you're already paying for a lot of services. So that's why a lot of times what I say is kind of start off on the free side, in turn see how that works. Now if you just need more and more in depth, then you can start to pay for things. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes, but you should be able to set things up on Thinkorswim just fine. Thinkorswim is a very, very good scanner. I like, you can add study filters and normal filters as well. You can add like scripts to it if you get very, very good with coding and stuff like that, and you can really look for very, very in-depth anomalies, and not anomalies, but like things that happen, algorithms and stuff. It can get very, very in-depth, way out of my pay grade, but in turn, let's go over pre-market activity. So to set up a pre-market scanner on Thinkorswim, first things I do is I keep actually the same values. Well, I change a little bit of things, but I keep really the same values traditionally through my scanner. So when we're talking about the price of a stock, I usually use the last indication or the last filter for looking at the price, and I keep that between 50 cents and $10 per share. So between 50 cents and $10 per share is traditionally my niche that I like to go after. So usually these are going to be NASDAQ based stocks. They're usually going to be lower price, which means you get to buy up shares at a cheaper price. In turn, you can load up on a lot of shares because the stock is cheaper. And usually with this price range, the percentages react very, very well. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you have a stock that's $10 per share and it moves up $1 per share and move, that's going to be a 10% return. But if you have a stock that's initially $1 per share and it moves up that same $1 per share move, it's going to double in price, which in turn is going to be 100% move. So you can see for like the lower amount of price, for the same amount of move, you're going to net a bigger percentage. That's why these lower price stocks are pretty popular right now, especially with volume, and just there's a lot of people trading this niche over here. Now, getting into the volume side, traditionally whenever I'm trading intraday, so whenever the market opens, usually I'm looking for stocks above 200,000 volume, all the way to a crazy maximum like 200 million, or you have infinity or whatever. So traditionally I just want to see stocks that have a good amount of volume, but most of the time I won't even be trading stocks until I have around 1 million volume. But whenever you're looking for pre-market activity, one thing to note is during the pre-market the volume won't be very, very high. So in turn, usually I like to look for 1/10 of my intraday volume. So usually that's going to be around 20,000 or so. So I'll put my volume minimums at around 20,000. So if you see, if whenever I do that, you're going to get a lot of stocks that pop up on the scanner. So you're going to get filled with a lot of plays here. So you can see here, there's tons of stocks that are that are 20,000 and above. Now, to find the pre-market movement on your results here, so you see whenever I scan, I get my results back. Sometimes whenever you have everything sorted by normal percentage change, you can see everything is zeroed out. Percentage change doesn't read pre-market volume. So what you have to do is you have to add mark percentage change here. So all you have to do is you just right click on the scanning little, I guess the rows or the columns here. You go to customize, and I'll add mark percentage to my current set. So let's say, for example, usually my scanner's current set looks like this. I'll just type in, look up a column, go to mark percentage change, go to add items and press OK. Then you'll have market percentage change here. So what I do to look for the pre-market move in stocks is I'll sort everything from highest to lowest market percentage change. So you can see here it has the highest to lowest ones. So if I take like the top 4 candidates here, you'll see that a lot of these stocks are going to have good pre-market movement. So if I move those to my charts here, if I move it to the intraday here, you'll see a lot of these stocks are moving very, very high in the pre-market. This stock was yesterday at a low of 215. Now it's at 587. And in turn, you'll see a lot of stocks are going to be moving in the pre-market. So to find pre-market activity is just as simple as that I've seen with using Thinkorswim. This is the same process I've been using. So a lot of times, whenever I find something or the process that I use, I just give it out to everybody else because, I mean, it's pointless to just be like, whoa, if you guys really want to learn the process here, and just tack on a lot of different just gimmicks and shit like that. It just might as well show you guys how to scan for pre-market, because in turn this a lot of times can help you get the jump on a lot of different plays if you find yourself especially just moving around looking for news and things like that. Finding good pre-market activity in turn is going to kind of steer you towards those stocks that are going to be moving on news. So if you see like a stock like MBVX, the stock has gone from the previous close of 59 cents and now it's at really around $2 per share and above. So this is going to be a very, very active play on the day regardless, maybe short or long depending on how the stock sets up. But you can see there's news accompanied behind it. So you see Mabvax Therapeutics and Boehringer Ingelheim, I don't want to butcher people's names, sign asset purchase and license agreement related agreements to an antibody development program targeting multiple solid tumor cancer. So some news is out on the stock. So what I always say is whenever a stock is accompanied by news, it just legitimizes the price action. So some stocks can run without news. You've seen pre-market activity run up without news. It's just stocks that have news behind it legitimizes the price action. And what I've seen more often is they're going to hold better and they're going to run better than stocks that have no news, because in the back of people's minds is there's no news on the stock. Why is it running? Okay, pump and dump. Something is going on. Somebody is manipulating the stock. People only manipulate stocks for their own personal gain. Nobody's going to make the stock go up 30 or 40% if they don't have any type of profit to be made in there. So that's why manipulation, anytime that you can sense manipulation, it's might as well kind of stay a little bit cautious when trading those stocks. But whenever they have news behind it, people just taking the bait on that news. And for example, when people hear cancer or something positive about that, usually these stocks are going to just jump up with a lot of speculators. That's just pretty much how it goes. Now, pretty much scanning for that pre-market type of movement and things. This is exactly what I do. And you can see here the volume for this stock, especially in the pre-market, is pretty high. As well, usually the volume in the pre-market, a lot of times what I've seen whenever I scan for stocks is usually going to range between like 20,000 to like 50,000 or so. But if a stock really has a good news report, you can see this stock has 1.19 million pre-market volume, 200,000, 100,000, 2 million or so. For some reason, GRPN has 6 million volume in the pre-market. So if I look at this stock here and go chart it out, you'll see that this stock is pretty active in the pre-market, as you can see. So that's just pretty much how it goes overall. Now, I'm kind of just laying over a little bit just so the intraday will open. So once the intraday opens, you'll see how everything starts to change when it comes to scanning and especially looking for those candidates that you already have. So let me just throw these stocks right back on my charts here. If you guys ever want to know how to go from your charts to from your scanners to your charts, just go to right click on it, go to more info, go to TOS charts, and usually click the first box. So if you want to split into 4 screens, just click the 4 screen type of things like that. Just a little quick tip. Now you'll see once it comes into the intraday, you'll see these stocks here, the volume will start to increase very high. So look at the volume bars down below, and you see now the market is open. You'll see these volume bars just shoot through the roof. The main reason for that is during the pre-market times, let me just set an alert on this stock here. Usually during the pre-market times, a lot of stocks, for example, not everybody has the ability to enter and exit during the pre-market. So it limits the amount of traders that can enter into these stocks. So in turn, a lot of times the volume is going to be relatively low. So that's why I like to move my volume minimums towards around 20,000. Now, once the market actually fully opens, for example, now the stock is open on the day, that's really when I move my minimums up to 200,000. So I'm going to get all the stocks that are going to be pretty active during the day. So I really won't be looking at very, very low volume stocks, let's say, for example, 30 minutes from now or an hour from now. So my scanners aren't going to just completely be populated with a whole bunch of stocks. So you can see here, I still have all my pre-market candidates, but in turn, it kind of eliminates a lot of those stocks that are very, very dead on the day. So if a stock has very, very good pre-market price and volume, in turn, usually that's going to be very, very good. And you see a stock like MBVX, the stock is breaking out above that 220 line, especially. So to find stocks that are running during the morning, especially, I use this same tip and this same tool as well, looking for pre-market volume. You can get the jump on a lot of different things. I'm not trading this stock right now. I mean, pretty much I'm not really set up right now. You can see here BNTC as well. But in turn, this is really what I like to do. So I hope this video helped you guys to know how to scan for pre-market volume. This is exactly how I do it. There's no specialty things that you can do to that. Now, if I find any more cool things to do on a scanner, especially I'm going to be working with a guy, and he's pretty smart. I mean, he does software engineering and things like that. So he's going to be throwing around scripts and stuff like that to scan. So if I find any cool things to scan with, any little scripts to put down there so you can look for specific moves, I want to see if you can scan for like ascending triangles and things like that. If I can find a way to do that, I'll shoot a video towards you guys. There's no problem at all. So it's Easily Profit YouTube channel. If you guys have any questions, shoot them in the comments below.